Hi everyone, it's Paul Miller, aka Nihai and Arav Krishna of the Nihai and Arav Show. And I have a special guest. His name is Connor T. Hennessy. And he has some amazing stuff. He's an indie pop singer, songwriter, telling relatable stories, ungirded with subtle philosophy. While on the surface, much of his music treads tried and true sounds. If you listen closely, there are hidden themes and meanings that are sure to delight. His sounds fit comfortably among artists like Julia Michaels, Ben Rector, and John Mayer. How you doing?
Doing well, Nihon. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. It's
Well, thank you
it's
so much for having me.
yeah, yeah. So I gave a like an intro about your music. Can you tell us more about yourself? Like some things that like and we'll get into the music too.
Yeah. So I am based in Nashville, Tennessee at the moment. I'm originally from a town called Antioch in California, sort of between Sacramento and San Francisco. Um, and yeah, I have been playing music since I was about 8 years old. I think within a month of my first guitar lesson, I had written my first song. It wasn't good, not at all. But hey, you gotta start somewhere, right? And and yeah, so as soon as I got into it, and actually even before I even started playing, I knew that music was something that I was interested in doing. I ended up getting away from it for a while. I went to college for video and film production, and absolutely love film. That's something that I still feel passionate about, but it's not my first love, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, just recently, within the last year or so, I finally decided to switch things up, come back to basics, come back to what was my first love, music, and yeah, and so that's where we are now.
That's awesome. I love the music because I was listening to Another Year and I check out your video, Believe Me.
Yeah. You checked out the video?
Yeah, it was so good.
Awesome. Let me do something for you real quick. Gigi,
Uh,
come here. This is my music video co-star.
oh yeah.
So my dog, she is like the most well-behaved little thing in the world, and so I literally called it as an audible at that morning. I was like, should I bring her with me? Is she gonna do good? And I just took the bet, and she did amazing. And she just and so I was really happy. This is G.
Okay.
So G co-starred in that
Gee.
music video.
Yeah, she got them good acting skills
Yeah,
in the
she's amazing.
beginning.
Yeah, right? Yeah, looks on cue, looks all perfectly sad when I'm broken down in my car. It's great. She's a wonderful
I
dog.
was hoping like at the end of the video, the music video, like someone was gonna pick you up, like when you was in the rain. Like I thought that like a girl was gonna pick you up or something. Like someone was gonna stop by.
It's funny. The that would have been a nice happy ending, but
Yeah.
uh hello. Yeah, shake it out, G. Shake it out. It's funny, the rainfall at the very end was like I can't exactly plan for weather. It literally just started right as we were almost finished shooting, and
Yeah.
I think we made hay with that. We made it that funny little me trying to get a ride at the end
Yeah.
instead of we could have either given up or given something, and I was like, all right, guess I'm getting wet. Let's go. Handed my videographer Jace Boynton
I, I
my
I did not know it was real rain. I thought like in some music videos they put like some fake rain, but I didn't know it was real rain.
Yeah, no, it started pouring. We actually, it's moments after we cut shooting, it started raining like even harder, like 1,000. Just sat under this little awning for at least like 30 minutes before leaving after that point. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So what got you into music? Like you've been doing it your whole life?
yeah. So my dad is a guitarist and a singer, and so he obviously exposed me to a lot of people that influenced him when he was younger. One of his biggest influence, actually, his big Bird, wonderful songwriter. Um, and he, yeah. So I always like it's figured that I would probably end up picking up his guitar, at a certain
Yeah.
point in learning. And then, turned about 8, and I got into my guitar lessons with this guy named Tom Ledden, who was the rhythm guitar player for Tom Petty's original band Mudcrutch. which is really cool. I did not recognize how cool that was until honestly way too late. I would have, I should have recognized it, but he, taught me some chords. They were immediately, I was immediately able to, work them really well. I remember one of the first things he said when I started playing, which was like, "Oh, you're a natural," and I was like, "Oh, cool."
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that was where it started. And I tried singing shortly thereafter. I wasn't good. It
You have
took
a
me,
peaceful voice.
yeah, it took a lot of work to make it peaceful and not grating. Because I was for several years just a an inadequate singer, I would say. And
I'm trying to
so,
get better. I do a little rapping, R&B, a little rock, but like I'm still
heck
trying to
yeah.
learn it. I'm still trying to learn it.
It's something that if you're not classically trained, like it just it's hard to like self teach. I'm trying to go into some vocal coaching soon in the future because I am entirely self taught. But yeah,
Does theory come into effect? Because I haven't like took any like much classes. I just do a lot of songwriting and rapping.
right. For me, there's a touch of music theory that I try to bring in. I'm not well versed as much as I should be. I wish I was more. I wish I was better, but I try to take in the little that I know to get some flair into these songs that otherwise, wouldn't be present.
That
But
was
then I sit down with a then I occasionally sit down with I have this wonderful musician that I got to sit down with a couple months ago. His name's John Calzavera. He's sort of a gig player, and he's played the Grand Ole Opry in Tennessee hundreds of times. And I come in there with a just showing him a couple of my songs and playing back and forth together and all that stuff. And he gave me some things to incorporate into a few of my songs that were just music theoretically just it was just such a small adjustment that made them so much better. And I was like, God, I need to take the time to get better at theory.
it's those connections and networking because like it's amazing. Like and then your upbringing, like you had a good upbringing.
Yeah, yeah. So my upbringing was I was the youngest of five kids. My oldest sister is 18 years older than me, which is wild. But excuse me, my parents, by the time they had popped me out, I were a little bit, I think, beaten down in their resistance, in their strictness, I suppose. And so, whenever I said no to the broccoli, they're like, "Screw it, screw it. Are we allowed to cuss in this podcast? Is that a thing?"
Nah, uh,
PG.
sometimes I don't do it too much though.
I lose you for a sec. I'm sorry, I lost you for a second there, Neon. Did you?
Sometimes not too much though.
Yeah, okay, okay, gotcha. So I'll keep that one. Screw it. They were like, screw that. And yeah, so that was just a little microcosm of my upbringing. Really, I just had it supremely easy compared to my brother or sisters. Um, and while I liked that as a kid, obviously, being able to basically do what I wanted, the unfortunate um, consequence of that, the unintended consequence, was that I was left a little bit unprepared for the stresses of like real life. You know what I mean? And so whenever I did ultimately graduate college with my film degree, film college in Nashville. I'm not going to name any names due to
Okay.
some legal reasons, but
Yeah.
they were basically just treating their they're exploiting their students basically, not they're scamming them, and that just like ignited my brain filled with anxiety, and facing that kind of force without really having been prepared for it was honestly ridiculously destabilizing.
Bro, I paid a lot of money for it's called Recording, Radio, and Film Connection. You heard of that school?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Recording, Radio, and Film Connection. You heard of that school?
I have not.
It's in Los Angeles, and like I paid a lot, and like I didn't learn much. It was just the ebook. Like read the ebook, take a quiz, talk to a mentor that's in the radio industry, and also do a blog. That was all the coursework every week for 20 weeks.
Yeah.
$13,000.
Yeah. See, ridiculous. It was how many weeks? 13?
It was 20. And
It was 20.
I didn't learn much. Stuff I already knew.
Yeah, it's so they were basically doing almost the same exact thing at the school that I was working at. They it was 9 months, so I'm not sure how many weeks that is, but it was $20,000 for it,
Wow.
and not worth it. Not worth. I remember. I really hope none of them watch this.
Yeah.
I remember my last day. This would actually get me in deep shit.
You don't have to say it.
Yeah, maybe I'll leave that one out.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll leave that one out. let's just say I thinking about going. We'll just leave it at that.
Thank goodness it cut out. Like I know something with my internet probably, but like I wanted to talk about the album like another year, like the creativity behind it.
Yeah, so kind of hand in hand with that anxiety sort of flying in at me through that school. That was sort of the starting point of me having to face actual challenge in my life. I ended up resigning, and then I was trying to find other work, and then the world shut down for the pandemic. Yay!
Yeah, yeah,
And then a couple things sort of built up around that. Some personal loss in the family. It ended up being just so. It was very, very difficult all at once. I ended up taking some time to go to a mental health institution to work on myself, and after I got out, I was still feeling just so despondent, so lost. And really, another year, this EP, this is my first EP debut. It really was a way of artistically working through my struggle. You know what I mean? And so, undergirded, there's 2 love songs. I think "Wake Up," the second track on the EP, is the most obvious about it. Like the first line is, "I wake up sometimes and wish that I didn't," and it was just this sort of way to put to paper something that made me feel like a person again. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's kind of a general thing. Is like it was a way to work through, and this is sort of, I guess, a closing chapter on everything that happened last year for me. Was releasing it. It almost feels like, I don't know, I was still working on myself even to this point, and releasing it really felt like it coincided with finally starting to get fully past what I'd gone through.
yeah. I noticed in that song, I think it's "Wake Up," and like there was some voices at the end, like some people talking in the background.
Yeah.
Like I thought I was here, so I thought like I was tripping for a second. Then I listened, and I was like, man, this is good.
Well, I'm glad you liked it. That one, definitely the longest song of the EP. It's almost 5 minutes, but that's one where it was just, it really captured just where my head was at that time specifically, more than the other ones.
Lyrics.
I love all the songs. I think a lot of them were trying to figure out, how to deal with the problem that I was having with, and more "Wake Up" was basically like stating the problem itself.
Yeah, one of them it closed out and it faded out. I was like, this is peaceful.
Yeah, I'm glad you felt so, because it does have like that little bit hint of optimism right at the end. After basically being a very sad song pretty much all the way through. I wanted to leave it in a place where I hoped I would end up. I don't think I was where that song ends. The recurring line in the song is, I want to see the dawn, but damn it, I just can't see it. And at the very end, I adjust that line to say, damn it, I'm starting to see it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I was starting to see it when I wrote that line. But I wanted to be there, and so that's why I wrote it that way. To have some dynamic that I hoped I would get to, and I think I have now.
the voice, the production was really great over the whole album. Personal and the lyricism, very great. The lyricism, like you
Thank you.
talking about fire in the sky, and like it was like a lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
that was yeah, that's from the middle track, the actual, I guess, title track. It's not called Another Year. It's called I Know You, but that's the song that has the line Another Year. That song is interesting because it, on its surface, it's a very simple, kind of mournful love song, but what it's sort of like hinting at is, and I don't want to, leave. I want to leave some up to the interpretation of the audience,
Yeah,
but it was a song that was really about what I was struggling with. It was almost like I was trying to sing to myself in a way, while simultaneously making the song about another person. It's kind of interesting. I'm trying to dance around a few kind of things I think might.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, any coping skills you have? Like I deal with a mental illness myself. Like I don't know if you had anything like you want to share about coping skills or mental health.
Yeah. I last summer after I was after I left the mental health institution that I spent some time at, I started talk therapy, and this obviously is depends on if you can find a therapist you connect to, but that was really excellent. Being able to fully be honest with someone and not have to like sugarcoat anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And um, that was wonderful. But even more than that, starting this year, I picked up Vipassana, which is a style of meditation that's typically referred to as mindfulness.
yeah,
And I just did it out of interest because someone had I'd read this book Waking Up by Sam Harris, and he talks about how it can be a vehicle to have some deep, interesting insights about the nature of self and all that. And I didn't expect to carry with it so much, but it really has become a part of my life. And basically, the essence of how it's helpful is that you can step back and just witness what is occurring to you. You know what I mean?
yeah.
You have a strong emotion, you can just look at it non-judgmentally and be like, okay, what do I feel about this? Is it unpleasant to me? How is it manifesting in my body? And it's almost, once you take a second to observe yourself almost like under the magnifying glass like that, it depersonalizes the suffering that you're going through, or the
That's a
pain.
form of meditation.
Yeah, that's right. So that's just the basically how the essence of it is to um, sit relatively straight up generally. Um, you can close your eyes optionally or open them. It's actually not that important. Most people find it easier to do it with eyes
Yeah,
closed, and then you just essentially just most people start by focusing on the breath as it comes and goes, and that's a good starting point. But as you develop more, it's just about noticing your experience as it happens. So, you can notice the breath, you can notice sensations in the body, in the hands, you can notice sounds. You can really
yeah,
just make it a full, just observe what's happening here. And the resulting, like what makes it so beneficial to well-being is it really forces you to learn how to appreciate the present. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And you realize that this moment is sort of it for you. You're like you this is the one you have guaranteed.
Yeah,
you know, like we don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow or even in a couple minutes from now. Anything could happen.
that's
I
amazing.
yeah. And so anyway,
That's amazing. What would you say would be your mission in the music and in life, like moving forward in life?
so I have a couple of routes as far as professionally in the music industry that I would love to be find myself. Those two places are obviously I'd love to be a performing artist. Who wouldn't? Uh, I love being in front of a crowd and playing my music. It makes me very happy, especially when you have a crowd that's listening. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
When you can tell they're engaged, even if it's one person in the room, it is unlike anything. It's like being heard, genuinely heard in a way that you don't generally get to be heard by people in day to day life. But alternatively, as much as I love performing, my bigger, not my bigger, my alternative path that I would like to follow, if that, doesn't end up manifesting itself in my life, is I would just love to continue writing music and write with other songwriters and get my songs played by other people. And I would be totally satisfied if I ended up being, a professional songwriter. And as far as my mission, I really just want to leave a legacy of art that I'm proud of, first and foremost. And how do you even put this? I would love to do that and then pave the way for other people to follow that footsteps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because this industry is hard, and frankly, I'm still learning this thing, and it's very difficult. And if I can get to a point where I've found success, I definitely want to make that easier for the people that are behind me in line. What
do you think about the music industry right now? Like, I know rap got its own lane, and I mean it's all music, but like, what you think is going on, like, in the industry right now? Like,
I mean, I love that. I think we live in a great time as far as like just being able to be spoiled for choice. You know what I mean? Like if you obviously you're gonna get what you get on the mainstream charts, and it's not gonna it's not gonna even try to reinvent the wheel. It's gonna be the wheel over and over again with a new shade of paint. And I can appreciate those songs because they're usually produced extraordinarily well, and they're usually, they have some clever lyricism here and there. But because this is such a wide field and there's so many people that have so many cool ideas, you just can't help but like be happy for the fact that you can't be unserved as a musician. And what's great is if you are unserved, as a listener, and if you are unserved as a listener, you can make your own music and you can put it out there. I mean, obviously it's not easy to put music out there. It was, another year took almost a full year actually a little over a year to produce, due to a couple extraneous factors. But since you have that open to you, and we live in a time where the access to making music is more widely available than it ever has been. I mean, I don't know. I feel good about it. I like this industry, even though it is so ridiculously hard still.
Just to make it in the industry, like it's easy to get in the industry, but like to I won't say like contracts, but like just to be relevant, to put yourself on the radio and all that, it takes a lot. Not just promotion, it takes more than that. A whole team, a professional team.
It really does, and it's like I've met a few artists lately who just endlessly impress me with their ability to market themselves, and I'm just like, God, I need to have that skill, or I need a team, like you're saying, because when I see what they're doing on social media and all their booking on themselves and stuff, it's not a little work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and it's genuinely, if you're not, and it's funny the things that places care about when you're trying to book. If you don't have a sizable audience on like Instagram, you kind of get passed over for gigs a lot. And I mean, it makes sense. You want to be able to draw a crowd to these venues, but it can be a little bit disconcerting to be like, oh, come on, I just wanna make my music and I just want to sing it. Can we please just do that, and without complicating it?
The creative side.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
It is, but hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll be worth it in the end. And honestly, I actually think, given everything I've experienced so far, if it all blew up in my face tomorrow, c'est la vie. It was a good run, and I learned a lot. But that being said, let's not let it blow up tomorrow in my face, please. Universe, let's not put that out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what else you working on? What else you got coming up? Like any concerts?
So I got a new single. I'm considering who I'm gonna have produce it. I love working with my buddy Tyler. It's not exactly his sound. My buddy Tyler, who produced Another Year, amazing producer. I want to, and also I just want to work with more people in general. It's a really good song with a very let's say provocative title. It's called "Leave Your Husband," and I think that's the next thing. Without if other things don't get in the way or other projects don't come up, that's definitely what I'm gonna be producing next. It's a single that I'm very proud of. It's one of my favorite songs I've ever written, and it's definitely it's fraught waters.
Yeah.
I honestly I've played that song a number of times live. Every time I do, I'm just like, all right, hopefully I don't get punched after the set.
Yeah.
I usually my typical little line that I say before that song is I'm like, hey everyone, this song is not advice, it's a story. Let me just be clear. Nobody kill me tonight. Thank you. All right, here's a song.
Yeah. You got a peaceful vocal, nothing to dislike about that. And I'm sure the
Yeah.
lyricism is great. There's a story behind it.
Absolutely. Oh, there is a story, and it just fills me with shame.
So, I want to ask, what was your like? What would you say is a good foundation for music and like in your beginning journey leading up to now? Like, I think it's an amazing story though.
All right, what's like the foundation of my of me as a musician? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
So, I think at the core of it, it's all about trying to find different ways to make the present moment compelling enough to live in. It kind of comes back to my love of meditation now. It's like
Yeah.
if you can tell stories that like are about just living, about having these often ordinary experiences, but trying to have a deeper message under it. Like my bio said at the very beginning that you read, it said it's tried and true thematics, but I'm trying to undergird it with some level of philosophy and some level of introspective encouragement, essentially for the viewer and excuse me, listener. That is,
Yeah.
and and yeah. So it for me, it's not just about making songs that people like listening to. It's about making songs that make people appreciate the life that they have, I suppose. I don't know how successful I am at that. It's something that I continue to want to work on and get better at being more direct about, perhaps. But it's definitely that's my goal.
Yeah, I'm creative with words too. Like I knew how to write before I knew how to speak good. Like I was
Right.
always like that writer. Like I remember in high school I would write and I would talk to my girlfriend on the phone and
Mhm.
like I'll be reading from a paper, man. Like my communication was bad. So like that
Yeah.
was a fail, but like it didn't relate to like what we were talking about at the time.
Right. Yeah.
So
You were.
so like I got better at communicating, I got better at just talking to people, socializing and just building that communication skills, that muscle.
Yeah. Exactly. Honestly, I think we as people tend to underestimate how much of a skill being social is. It's not just innate in everyone. Some people can just walk into a room and be comfortable. But I mean, I flipped through it. I mean, I feel like with everything that I was going through psychologically, mental health wise this last year, I got into a place where it was genuinely, suddenly difficult to talk to people and hold a conversation for extended periods of times. And it was genuinely work to get back to a comfort level where I could have a conversation like this.
Yeah.
Like honestly, if I had this podcast lined up even a couple months ago, I would have probably had so much more anxiety because trying to get back into the headspace where we're talking and having good conversation. It's not easy. It's work.
You got them good communication skills, man.
I'm glad I got him back. I'm glad I got him back. I
Yeah.
clawed them from the depths. I swear.
I took a communication course with public speaking, Speak with Confidence Academy.
Hmm.
And I've been writing since like the last 12 years, and I've been podcasting the last 2 years, 2 years and
Hmm.
3 months. And I learned something each time, like every time I talk to someone, and it's just those social skills when you're talking to friends, like if you're at their house talking to your friends, like that's just building them social skills and
Exactly.
communication.
Yeah, and if you what's great about the meditation practice is that, like, for me, it allows me to, even while having a conversation, sort of step back and observe that almost, and being able to do that. I mean, I wish I didn't need to do that for that time period, but it was helpful to be able to recognize what I was doing wrong, socially, I guess. Anyway,
Yeah, I noticed you observed because I was like reading that and I was like, okay, like let me be good. Let me be on my P's and Q's.
yeah, right. Yeah, no. Luckily, I'm also, a big part of Vipassana is noticing without judgment. So you don't
Yeah.
have to worry about me judging your ass.
Yeah, I went to school also for massage therapy. So like
Mhm.
energetics, like we studied energetics and like that was good something good to learn.
Yeah, awesome, awesome.
What else you wanted to discuss? Like anything I left out or anything you want to discuss?
Well, I think I just want to give a quick, shout out to everyone who helped me on the way here. My producer Tyler Cody, uh, just he made hello phone yelling at me. He really made this EP. He brought the songs, and I brought the songs, and I brought the seed that made this. But he put in so much work and made it just. I had an idea, and he made it so much more than I hoped it would be. It was so in a weird way. It's absolutely not what I expected to be, and yet somehow everything I hoped it would be.
He's a
And that's
producer.
That's right. Tyler is my producer, and he is excellent, and I couldn't be more grateful. Also, want to give a shout out to my buddy Nick Castor. He is a bass player. He was very kind to lend his upright bass skills on the song "Go Away," which is the final track on the EP. And also, Caro is her professional name. Her name.
The podcast was so good.
Yeah, yeah, it's so good. The house had to scream about it, right? Yeah, another shout out to Caro. Carolina Martinez is her full name. Caro is such a good singer, and she provided the vocals, the secondary vocals. Actually, it's even wrong to call it secondary vocals. She becomes the lead starting in the second verse. Um, I have known that young woman for so long, and have known for so long that she's a great singer. And so the moment I had an excuse to get her on a record, it was like, get in here. And she was very kind to come through, learn my song, and I mean, I think it's hard to pick favorites because I love all my children, but Go Away, it's close.
Yeah, I love
It's.
it. I love it.
I'm glad you do. I'm glad you do. Lastly, obviously, I gotta give my parents, my brothers and sisters, they were always, hugely supportive during all this. Whitney Asher from the marketing mixtape, she has been a tremendous help in promotion for this EP. She got me covered and reviewed in places where I wouldn't have if it wasn't for her expertise. And yeah, I'm just I guess what's something that I've recognized recently is that to be talented to begin with is already like that's already one luck point, right? Like to have innate skill, I already felt lucky about that. To have the support system I have is lucky. And what I'm realizing is that I am genuinely just lucky to have the life that I have and to have the ability to say what I want to say. Um, because not everyone gets that from the get go, and I've
Yeah.
luckily had that, and so you know, I don't really take pride in my music in the way that people probably typically do because I'm actually just grateful for it. I'm not prideful for it. I'm grateful for the chance to get to write these songs and to
Gratitude.
yeah, absolutely. Now we got some more screaming in the background.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Are y'all cooking?
Yeah, yeah, we
Oh.
were.
Mm. Anything, something positive you like to share with the listener, or like in your social links? We'll have it in the description notes, show notes too.
Yeah, so I am Connor T Hennessy on everywhere. That's ConnorTHennessy everywhere. It's on Instagram, TikTok, even though I don't use TikTok yet, Twitter.
Yeah.
You can find me at same name.com for my website. As far as something positive to say, I would say, if music or any art form is something that you love and it's something you want to do, uh, don't give it up. This isn't unique advice, but the fact of the matter is, you can to quote an amazing songwriter, a little known guy from the '90s, David Wilcox. Where was he? 2000s. Irrelevant. He has this amazing line that says, it's this whole story about this woman talking to this to the singer, right? And she says, it goes, and she confessed that when you lay your dreams to rest, you can get what's second best, but it's hard to get enough. And it's true.
Wow.
You can get what's second best, and you'll probably be happy, and you might be really happy, but there'll always be a question mark in the back of your mind of, what if I hadn't walked away from it? What if I had kept going? And what if my life could have been what I wanted it to be to begin with?
Wow, that's motivational.
I'm glad you think so.
I wanted to add, like, everything comes with, when you put heart into it, integrity, harmony, positivity, all that good stuff. Like, but I know we all gotta live a good life in this journey. Everything's happening at once on the planet, but I I know, like, a lot of people need that, like, just a compassionate heart, like, for others, and that'll get us a long way. Like, that's just that good things.
Absolutely. Well, Nihan, thank you for having me. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. It was absolutely a joy to talk to you. Thank you for being my first podcast ever.
Yeah, you should do more, man.
Yeah, I would love to. I would love to.
You should start your own podcast, like, or get on other people's shows. Like, you're a good talker.
I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad I've been practicing, like I said.
Good guess.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And for more on the Nihan and Rob show, y'all can check it out. The Nihan and Rob show.wordpress.com. And Connor, it was a privilege to talk to you. Thank you. It was a joy. And I'm looking forward to hearing more songs from you, and just keep doing good, and, like, you're on your way to do good things. Like, I don't know if you're younger than me, but like, I went there too. Like, I'm gonna be 31 next month. So, like,
24 for me.
yeah, we're like on the same path, like, with positivity, man. Just like, that's what's attractive. Like,
let it be your North Star.
Yeah.
It's like, as long as you keep heading in the right direction, you're bound to either burn out in a blaze of glory, right?
Yeah.
Or make it. Let's hope it's the second one. Absolutely.
Yeah. So peace, man. I'm gonna talk to you later, though.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
Thank you.